favorite scary movie. Have you checked the children?
It's all for you!
Good.
I feel like we sound great.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah, we're perfect.
Okay. Yeah.
All right.
Absolutely perfect.
Shall we?
Let's fucking do it.
Let's go ahead and get started. Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the Horrible People's Podcast. I'm your host, Alex Webster. With me, as always, is Anthony Fuentes.
What's up, team?
And Phill Acevedo.
What's up?
On the big camera today.
I know. I get the big boy chair. I got my own camera, and this is insane. I like it.
Don't let the
it.
power get to your head.
Yes. It already is. It already is.
You might say it's been a dream of yours.
It really is. Yeah, it is. Oh,
you're
I am a warrior for
already?
this dream.
Let's go ahead and dive right in. This week we are talking about A Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Dream Warriors.
I was about to say I'm a grand wizard, but that's not how.
Oh, that's not good.
not how it was in the movie.
No, not good.
Okay, asshole.
Yeah.
Let's dance. That's me right there. Oh, man. So, okay, as Alex mentioned, we are talking A Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Dream Warriors. Quick little PSA to our viewers and listeners. This episode will be featuring discussions of suicide, drug addiction, and rape. So if that is something that makes you feel a little icky, just heads up. And with all that being said, let's get started.
Yeah, who's doing the read-offs?
Yeah, IMDb synopsis. You know what? Alex, go for it.
Yeah, a little bit.
All right, Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Dream Warriors, released on February 27th, the good, glorious year of 1987.
Yes. And we had determined this is when Phill was conceived.
Yes.
This opening weekend.
Pretty sure my parents banged around this time in order to have me later in December of 1987. Yes.
So he can host a podcast 3 decades later.
Yes.
Yeah.
Solely for that purpose. IMDb gives us a fun little synopsis, which reads, a psychiatrist familiar with knife-wielding dream demon Freddy Krueger helps teens at a mental hospital battle the killer who is invading their dreams.
I mean, it's a run-on sentence, but it's the best run-on sentence you probably had.
It is a glorious run-on sentence.
Knife-wielding dream demon is, yeah. Wow.
That's the name of my
I
autobiography.
was just going to say the name of my next mixtape.
Yeah.
Phil Brown Phillip the Goat rapper. That's it.
Yeah.
That's my next Skyrim character. It's definitely going to be named a knife-wielding dream demon for sure.
Love that. This was written by the incomparable Wes Craven, Bruce Wagner, and Frank Darabont.
Damn, Frank Darabont did this?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
shit.
Frank Darabont was involved in the writing process of this, and man, I cannot wait to talk about the conception that they came up with for this. Like the ideas that were thrown around for this movie with Wes Craven, Frank Darabont, and company. It's freaking awesome.
Oh, all right.
It was directed by Chuck Russell, and it's starring the beautiful Heather Langenkamp.
Yeah.
Patricia Arquette in her first ever movie role.
Absolutely.
Craig Wasson. Larry Fishburne.
Oh, shit.
In the credits, I saw that, and I was just like, Larry?
Yeah.
Fucking Larry?
Yeah.
Otherwise known as Lawrence Fishburne.
Or Morpheus to those.
Yeah.
To the uninitiated.
Yeah.
A video that I watched said that this was right in between his time as Cowboy Curtis and Morpheus.
That's Furious Styles right there.
Furious Styles.
Furious Styles right
one of the
there.
best names in cinema history. Furious Styles. And it better. Who else to play Furious Styles? And Larry Fishburne.
Larry
Yeah.
Fishburne. John Saxon, of course, also makes an appearance. And, of course, the man in question, the knife-wielding dream demon himself, Robert Englund.
Nice. Some guy. Some young.
Some
some
dude.
upcoming actor.
Some dude.
Yeah.
The music is by Angelo Badalamenti.
Badalamenti, yeah. This is one of Angelo's big scores right here. He's best known to be collaborating with my father, David Lynch.
Oh.
Yeah, but he also we'll talk more about the music there later.
Okay, all right.
This movie had a $4.5 million budget, and it made $44.8 million in the box office.
Yeah.
Pretty good. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
For New Line Cinema, this is the house that Freddy built.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep, that's what they call it.
Wow.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
Fwenster, you want to go start off with a little bit of plot breakdown?
I shall, and then my title reads "Sleep Those Little Slices of Death."
I love microdosing death.
Well, Dream Warriors opens up with a scripture from a friend of the podcast, Edgar Allan Poe. He's a very well-known acquaintance of ours. "Sleep those little slices of death, how I loathe them." So, very profound for a Freddy movie, but okay.
I always thought that was interesting, how the movie opens up with an Edgar Allan Poe quote. I was like, okay.
All right,
that's let's
a
fucking
Darabont
do it.
move right there. That's a Frank Darabont move for sure.
Hell yeah, dude.
Hell yeah, dude. EDG, or wait, EDP. Edgar Allan, no. EAP.
Well, you got DP on the mind, dude.
Shit.
A year after the events of Nightmare 2, we're introduced to teenage Kristen, who is having dreams of being chased by Freddy Krueger. Krueger? Phill?
Huh?
Krueger?
Oh, God. There's one
typo
right
up top.
Freddy Krueger. He's actually Freddy Krueger's cousin from France.
Freddy Krueger.
Yeah.
Welcome to the prime time, my bitch.
E come ti tanta, bitch.
I can't hold this tea with my knives. Well, the chase leads her to her restroom, where she is led to believe that she is awake. Her mother walks in to find a manic Kristen with a razor blade and a slit wrist. Oof, yeah. Well,
yeah, perfect timing to have a parent walk in on you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Kristen's mom is led to believe that her daughter is suicidal, so she admits her into Wesson Hill Psychiatric Hospital. This is where Kristen is placed under the care of Dr. Neil Gordon.
I mean, to be fair, I would also be led to believe that my child is suicidal walking in on that.
The way the mom walks in, she's got the blade in hand and she's got the slit wrist. Like, dude, yeah. If I was the mom, right move. Yeah. It's a right move.
Probably, yeah.
It was a knife-wielding dream demon, mother. Now you're fucking crazy for sure. Oh, that's funny. At the psychiatric hospital, Kristen fights off orderlies who try to sedate her because he is a consistent... Or he does?
She has a consistent...
She has a consistent fear of falling asleep. This is where series veteran Nancy Thompson, now an intern therapist, befriends Kristen because she recognized Freddy's nursery rhyme Kristen was singing out loud. Very clever. Very good writing here.
Yeah, I kind of like that scene. That was nice.
Mm-hmm. Nancy gets introduced to the rest of Dr. Gordon's patients. Philip, tiny-armed sleepwalker. Kincaid, a tough, violent kid from the streets. His tiny arms. Jennifer, an aspiring TV actress who is prone to cigarette burns. Will, who uses a wheelchair due to a prior suicide attempt. And Taryn, a recovering drug addict. And of course, Joey, who is too traumatized to even speak. Oh, man.
We are introduced here to Xavier's School for the Gifted Youngsters.
I was going to say the Breakfast Club.
Yep.
I was going to say Suicidal Avengers. There.
The sleep-deprived Breakfast Club.
Suicidal Avengers.
God,
it's terrible. It's fucking horrible. One night at the hospital, Kristen falls asleep and is attacked by Freddy. From the dream world, Kristen somehow manages to communicate with Nancy in the outside world and even pulls Nancy into the dream world with her. Freddy recognized Nancy, and she and Kristen were successfully able to escape the dream world and back into the real world with, by the way, some amazing special effects.
Yes.
Like some fucking badass special effects.
The falling into the chair effect is so cool.
This is where we're introduced to the Freddy Krueger dick demon.
I was going to say a worm, but sure.
There was so much controversy with that monster in international releases. Like, Australia had an issue with that thing. It's like, hey, it looks too much like a dick, so we're going to have to ban that scene. We'll talk more about it later on.
So fun.
But that monster, and then, like, in England, there was a poster. They didn't go with the American poster. They went with this other poster where the demon is kind of swallowing up Kristen.
Yes.
But then they also had an issue with, like, that thing looks too sexual. It's too sexualized because Kristen looks like she's having, like, this face where she's actually kind of enjoying it. And so the English had an issue with that dick demon, and yeah.
The English famously have a lot of issues with with like the video nasty thing.
Yeah, that's
like they pretty famously have an issue with like graphic
Well, I do
Especially
say so
the
myself. I can't think
They're
of
catching
that.
their pearls.
The knife-wielding dream dick demon. Freddy Krueger. There you go. There you go. Well, anyways, with that, Kristen reveals that she has been able to pull people into her dreams since she was a little baby.
And this is where we're introduced to Dream Power number 1, where Kristen can actually pull people into her dreams.
Very
Yeah,
nice.
this is Xavier's home
Yeah.
for gifted youngsters.
Yes.
Yes.
If Magneto is Freddy Krueger.
No! I love Magneto.
All
We
right,
should have killed you when we had the chance, bitch.
That was good.
To make up for suicidal Avengers there. Alright, we're still Marvel singers today.
You must kill Wolverine,
Instead
bitch.
of Wolverine saying bub, what if he just replaced it with bitch?
Hey, bitch. I'm not finished with you yet. Webster, yeah, keep bringing it down a little bit more with some more story breakdown. Por favor.
Hell yeah. Freddy pulls the strings. The next 2 nights get a little rough for our patients at Weston Hills. First up to the plate is our boy Philip Tiny Arms, the sleepwalker. After lights out, Philip is fast asleep and is woken up by Freddy Krueger at his bedside. After vertically slicing up Philip's arms, Freddy controls Philip like a puppet, using his tendon strings as the puppet strings.
If he had bigger arms, he would not be able to.
I know,
he would
right?
not be
This
able to
wouldn't
do
be an
it.
issue if you just lifted some weights, Philip.
Yeah.
Fuck, dude. No, I'm kidding. But anyways,
From one Philip to the other.
from one Philip to another, dude. But this scene, I really like this scene a lot.
It's-
The stop motion on the puppet when you see Freddy
Pops
waking
down.
up, yeah,
Ooh.
and then the strings, like Philip has got all these fucking tendon strings, and I was actually very creative scene.
Yes.
That's a Wes Craven thing for sure.
It also made me. Every time I watched it as a kid, could never look at it. It's,
Yeah.
Oh, ugh.
Oh yeah.
So, Freddy leads Philip to the hospital's clock tower, and Kristen and the rest of Dr. Gordon's patients watch from across the campus as Philip jumps off the roof to his death.
R.I.P. Philip.
You know.
Yeah, I like how the guy who couldn't speak though still managed to get people's attention by just like
Yeah.
racking up the stuff.
Yeah.
Like, like good
Yeah.
character showcase right there.
Totally.
Yeah, and then Will from a distance, he smashes the window like, Philip, don't
Yeah.
do it, Philip. And I was like, fuck, dude, like you could see the distress in him, dude. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's good performances. Here.
I liked the scene, or like the moment where you see like a huge Freddy Krueger like holding onto the strings, and then he cuts them, and then he falls. I don't know. It looks really
very
cool.
cool shot.
That's a
Very-
good visual right there.
Very cool visual.
Yeah.
I like that a lot. That was really cool.
Next up is Jennifer. After the hospital suffers a major blow with Philip's death, including like a really insensitive suicide reference. Like it's just like, he was a quitter. He let us all down.
Yeah, I know. I thought that was brutal. I was
This
like,
man's
what?
Harvard educated?
Yeah, no sensitivity. He's a coward. He went the cowardly way. I was like, you're a psychiatrist, dude? Okay.
It was the 80s.
Jeez.
So yes. Jennifer talks Max. Oh, hold on. Let me see. Sorry. I lost my spot. Oh, okay. Suffers a major blow with Philip's death. So we follow the hospital's orderly Max, played by Larry Fishburne,
Yeah.
as he finds Jennifer in the TV room. Jennifer talks Max into letting her stay in the TV room since she's having trouble sleeping. Max, being the nice orderly that he is, lets her stay in the TV room and leaves her be under the promise that she never saw him. So it is here where Jennifer starts falling asleep as she watches TV, and Jennifer catches a short glimpse of Freddy Krueger on a primetime talk show, but the TV starts glitching out. This is also like she burns herself with a cigarette in the scene.
Yeah.
It's rough.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Jennifer walks over to the TV to investigate, but suddenly 2 electrical hands and arms burst out of the sides of the TV and grab Jennifer. Meanwhile, Freddy's head pops out from the TV, from the top of it, and Jennifer screams for her life as she remains defenseless. And then we get the iconic Freddy line, "Welcome to primetime, bitch!" and smashes Jennifer's head into the TV screen, killing her immediately.
By the way, that line, completely improv.
Really?
I love Robert Englund so
Oh.
much.
Improv. This was even, they didn't even, he ad-libbed this in post. because they made it like he said something else.
Yeah.
And when it came to like ad-libbing to get like really good high-def Freddy voice, like Robert Englund just went, "Welcome to prime time, bitch," and everyone's like, "Whoa,
Let him cook.
Yeah.
let him cook." We're going with that one, yes.
Oh my gosh! No, that was a very good scene. Also, I love it's a commentary at the time, and we all know this when we were kids. Those late night channels, no.
Oh, yeah.
That late night program is real bad, and I was like, yeah, you ain't staying awake with that shit.
Yeah.
No.
Nancy, Neil, and the rest of his patients are left devastated with the loss of both Philip and Jennifer. They all have a group therapy session discussing the recent events at Weston Hills. Nancy reveals to the group that the remaining patients are in fact the, quote, last of the Elm Street kids, unquote, meaning that they are the surviving children of those who got together one night and burned Freddy Krueger to death many, many years ago. This is also like the beginning of the retcon that he was just a child murderer, not like a fucking pedophile.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I noticed that too.
Phill, take it away. Where are we going next?
All right, and my title says, "Hello, Nurse."
Indeed.
Oh,
For
yeah.
Holy
Animaniacs
shit.
fans out there. All right, here we go. This says right here, after the patients acknowledge the fact that they are all being haunted in their dreams by Freddy Krueger, Neil and Nancy encourage the patients to undergo a group hypnosis.
That seems like a
Such a
really
bad idea.
smart, really safe idea.
Yeah.
In the dream world, everyone, including Nancy and Neil, establish that they have all a special power. Nancy can do these wild acrobatic flips.
Okay.
I am so sorry. That is
It's not
actually
Nancy,
Kristen.
it's
That was
Kristen. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kristen can do acrobatic flips. Taryn is a badass punk chick with knives. My favorite one,
Yeah.
by the way.
And beautiful.
Yes.
And bad.
And bad. And Will can walk and has wizard-like powers. And Kincaid is super strong.
Again.
Yeah.
Welcome to Xavier.
Seriously, right? I think Taryn is kind of like a Jubilee, maybe? And Kincaid is Colossus?
Yeah, I'd say
Colossus,
Colossus.
Colossus, yeah, right? So, all right. And, however, Joey, my boy Joey, he's just a human being, you know?
He's just a guy.
He's just a dude. I cannot blame him, man. Joey, at this time, is heavily distracted as the hospital's hot and seductive nurse lures him into another room, leaving the group behind him. The nurse lays Joey onto a hospital bed as she removes her clothes. As the nurse starts kissing our boy Joey, Joey's like in heaven. He's like, "Oh
Yeah.
fuck, this is really
He's
happening."
just like,
Oh,
this is
God.
my dream.
Oh my god. And then like as this is going down, they're making out. The nurse ties up Joey with a set of tongues.
Ugh.
It was really weird to describe this. So like they're making out, all of a sudden she spits out one tongue
Yeah.
onto one wrist and another wrist and then his feet. So he's all tied up with
You're
tongues.
getting the part where like their mouths detach and there's just like
yeah.
one
That's
tongue
right,
in between
that.
them, and
Yes.
it's very like
Yes.
almost body horror. Like,
It
it's
is.
not.
I kinda liked it.
It's ugh.
really, really cool acting from the nurse too. She was just like, "Bleh, bleh, bleh," and I was like,
Also,
yeah.
like half naked, mostly naked.
Pretty much, yeah.
You'll hear no complaining from this side of the table. Hi, Savannah. And so it turns out that this is not no hot, seductive nurse. This is none other than Freddy Krueger.
Oh, shit.
I like
Oh.
that Freddy Krueger likes making out with teenagers.
I know. Yeah.
Really lends itself to the not a pedophile argument.
And this kid, I mean, first of all, all right, speaking of that, how old do you think this actor is, Joey?
How old was he when they filmed
When they
this?
filmed this?
I'm
He
hoping
looks-
18.
Dude, he looks way younger than 18, and the nurse
Yeah.
is like 30.
Yeah.
And,
Hold
do
on.
we want to pull this up?
Yeah.
All right,
Kinda gotta know.
While you pull this up, I'm going to continue here. But just let me know as soon as you find out. But everyone who was under hypnosis is brought back into the real world, except for our boy Joey.
Right.
He's placed in a coma, making things even worse for Neil and Nancy.
Man.
So Neil comes across a nun later on. Comes across a nun. Can't you see that she's a nun?
The exposition nun, yes.
Yeah, she is the exposition nun for sure. And the nun's name is Sister Mary Helena, and she reveals to Neil that Freddy is in fact the son of a young woman on the hospital staff who was accidentally locked in a room with hundreds of mental patients who raped her continuously.
Damn.
That's the this we got like a little origin story to Freddy Krueger.
We're getting a lot of lore in this one.
We are
Like
getting
a lot of lore in this one.
The way the nurse described, he's like all those maniacs. Like he's like the bastard son of all those maniacs.
Yeah, it's like 100
raped her,
maniacs
like
or
100
something. Yeah.
maniacs.
Mhm.
And yeah.
Okay, he's 56 now.
And in 19,
And so
they
in-
shot this in like 86.
He was
Sure.
born in 87, so he'd have been 19. Or
Okay.
67.
Yeah, 67. So he would have been 19. He was.
Oh wow! Okay, damn.
He's with the quick maths here.
Okay,
I was
damn,
just
that's
like,
quick. Yeah, that was quick. So he was like 19. when
Legally,
he
everything
filmed
was
this,
fine.
okay.
It was
Okay.
fine.
Yeah.
Alright, for sure, because he looks young as
He
fuck.
just- yeah,
he does not
yeah.
look 19. He looks like 14. But anyways, good nurse. Good nurse then. Good nurse.
Yeah.
But anyways, so it is revealed here that Freddy is the bastard son of like 100 freaking maniacs, and the nun explains to Neil that the only way to stop Freddy once and for all is to lay his bones to rest. And later, Neil gets help from Nancy's father, Mr. Officer Thompson, on locating Freddy's bones. And Nancy rushes back to the hospital after learning that Kristen has been sedated. Nancy and the remaining patients undergo another group's hypnosis and travel to the dream world to save Kristen. So in the script, it's written Kristen.
Yeah.
But in the movie, it said Kirsten. And if you notice,
They
it
go in between the two.
They do, right?
They're
Yeah.
super indecisive in what
I
this
do the
character's
same
name.
thing
Yeah.
with that name. So
They mention it in when I was doing research for it. In the script, it says Kirsten. Sometimes it says Kristen, and in the movie, they do the same shit. I was like, "What's the character's name?"
It's like, I'm gonna read what's on the fucking paper. Is this right?
I'm
Yeah.
Ron Burgundy.
Yeah, even I'm doing it in the script for this. So anyway, they go on. They find a way to stop Freddy.
Yeah.
So they all decide to like, all right, let's go save her, and they go back into the dream world. And however, Freddy ends up getting the upper hand and separates Nancy, Will, Taryn, and Kincaid. So they're all separated in their own little dream worlds.
Never split the party.
I know.
Meanwhile, drunk dad and then like two old boyfriend are like going to a
Right.
fucking junkyard,
Right?
and the dad's driving.
Oh my god. The junkyard scene, I mean, all of this was like shot in LA, but they were looking for this specific junkyard, so they had to go a little further up north. They wanted this specific junkyard because they had a certain look for it and everything. Yeah,
It's a
it was
pretty
cool.
creepy
It was.
drunkyard.
Junkyard.
It's a drunkyard also.
Hey, yeah.
Honestly, that's a really good name for a bar.
Oh, the drunkyard! Oh, I love that.
Dang.
The
junkyard,
I like
yeah.
that. That's a good
Yeah.
theme. That's a good theme. Just
You
write it
got
down.
keys, you put in a jar. We ain't trying to get no DUIs over here.
Yep.
Keys in a jar.
It's a junkyard. You know? Car keys.
All right, back to the dream world, please. All right, so Will and Taryn both put up a good fight against Freddy, but are ultimately killed.
Boo.
Yeah, Taryn's death. As much as I really like Taryn, she's like a very tragic character because she didn't overcome, like she didn't win her battle with addiction.
Well, I mean, in a way she did, because like also earlier in the film, like one of the orderlies was just like, "Do you want to go do drugs?" And she was just like, "I'm past that."
Yes,
Yeah,
I think it's
that's-
great, but it just the way Freddy was like,
I think.
man, I just wanted her to live.
Me too.
He does
No.
a
I was
rug
like,
pull
why
on
did she
Freddy.
die?
I wanted her to live too, but I think part of like Freddy, like that death scene, is Freddy like humiliating her more than like like
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, such a
It's
cool
some psychological
character.
warfare.
I know.
Yeah,
Freddy
it's
also.
that death actually made me really sad.
Mm-hmm. And Will also gets killed here, but he has like a really nice moment to shine when he turns into like a wizard.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
a wizard. Yeah.
Is it a D&D?
It's so. I think they were trying to avoid like a copyright issue, but yes, they were in essence playing
Okay.
D&D.
I
Yeah.
just called him the Grand Wizard.
Also, wizards are famously really easy to kill in D&D.
Oh,
Like they're
interesting.
they're famously like very squishy. It's a very squishy class.
Yeah, I like how
Okay.
before his death, Freddy's basically, I'm not into that nerd shit, and then just fucking takes him out.
I know. He was like, whatever, nerd.
Yeah, it's like I'm not a dork, so you can die. Actually,
Freddy
your
does
powers
not
mean
give
shit.
a fuck. He got thrown off by the wizard, and he's like, "What the fuck?" And he goes, "Man, you fucking nerd."
Yeah, right.
The ultimate bully.
Oh
Give him a
man.
fucking wedgie right before.
Shove him in a locker.
Oh god. So Nancy, Kristen, and Kincaid are the last ones alive and find themselves as they try to take on Freddy once and for all. they find themselves. I think it's really interesting that Kincaid, the strong, dude, lives throughout this endeavor. I was like, okay. Usually, like the strong, tough guy is usually the first one to go out.
I was thinking more just because he's black. I was like,
there's really a lot working against Kincaid in this movie.
Yeah.
But and he gets all the good zingers too. Like there's usually
Freddy,
zinger
pussy.
Right?
Yeah. Calls him a pussy, dude.
Like the zinger character, black character, and muscular character all get taken out in like the first half of a horror movie typically.
The way that they set it up also is just like he's like a really combative, aggressive guy in the beginning, and I'm glad he made it.
Yeah. So, who is moving the thing? Okay, here we go. All right, and so Freddy realizes that Neil and Officer Thompson are in the real world, and they're trying to lay his bones to rest. This is where he's like, "Oh, my fucking Freddy senses are tingling, dude. Something's going on in the real world." So he disappears and he goes into the real world. But he finds a way to reanimate his bones into the real world, and he kills off Officer Thompson.
Why doesn't he do this ever?
I don't know.
Just like in like
out of nowhere, he was able to. Yeah.
Isn't the whole point that he's stuck?
I have no idea. I don't understand the logic.
Nightmare on Elm Street nerds, tell me what's going on here.
Please.
I'm wearing a Friday the 13th shirt because I have no respect for this franchise.
When it doesn't make sense, a wizard did it. A wizard did it. It was a wizard did it.
He knocks out Neil as well. So, R.I.P. Officer Thompson. Freddy returns back to the dream world where Nancy, Kristen, and Kincaid are. And this is where they successfully were able to find and rescue Joey.
Forgot about Joey this whole fucking time.
We rescued Joey from horny jail. Horny hell, I should say.
Horny hell. I like horny hell.
So he falls into a coma after this whole like tongue-tied thing, and fucking from the inside, Freddy Krueger carves "Come and get him, bitch."
Right, yeah.
In his torso again. Like the egregious use of "bitch" in this movie is
I like it.
Wild.
It's great.
The way they brought it back in
Rick and Morty.
Rick and Morty.
Yeah, Scary Terry.
Like it's fantastic. I don't know whose idea was it to consistently use "bitch" a lot. This is where Freddy starts using it, right?
Yeah,
because he used it in Freddy 1 and 2.
No, he was a much different character. In both those movies, actually, he's very different between both of those ones too.
There's no consistency to his character, and I stand by that.
There's not, but I think this is one of my favorite Freddys. But we'll get to that in discussion. But anyways, Freddy poses as Nancy's dad as they hug it out. They have a nice little heart to heart. They have it, and but sadly, Nancy is stabbed and goes after Kristen. It is revealed that it was actually Freddy, not Officer Thompson. So, played one last trick on Nancy.
How unpredictable.
And just in the nick of time, a barely alive Nancy comes back with one more whiff of fresh air and stabs Freddy with his own damn glove.
Motherfucker should have double tapped, dude. He's a horror icon. He knows this.
They're having like a little standoff. There's like a lot of fight movement going on, and Freddy looks like he has the upper hand, and out of nowhere shows up a barely alive Nancy and just stabs the shit out of him. But also at the same time, holy water's getting thrown in the real world.
Yeah.
Neil is throwing the holy water, and then he blesses him, and then his bones are laid to rest. It gets really Catholic.
It gets very Catholic.
Yeah.
Also, I love the fact that he went into a church, like a little cathedral, and like steals a bunch of holy water in like a plastic whiskey bottle.
Yeah.
And then goes
actually
to steal a crucifix, and the pastor is just like, hello, and he's just like, here, just hold on to my license, I'll come back for it. Like, what?
Oh my god.
And he just lets it happen?
I think it's pretty badass, actually, to be honest.
And then imagine seeing him from the distance, like in the junkyard, and some guy is just holding a thing and waving a whiskey flask. Just like, that man is drunk.
Yeah. All right, so Freddy is gone, dead, R.I.P., deleted, right? And everything seems like it's all fun and dandy, and Freddy is finally killed. Kristen awakes. She awakens everyone, and they all return back to the real world. Later on, at Nancy's funeral, Neil discovers that the nun he's been talking to was none other than Amanda Krueger, Freddy's mother.
Oh,
I never could have predicted this.
Yes. Damn. And of course, later that night, Neil falls asleep peacefully in his own bed. But it looks like Neil kept the papier-mâché house that Kristen built in the beginning of the film. Suddenly, that papier-mâché house lights up from the inside, suggesting that Freddy lives.
Ooh.
The end.
Much better lead than the paper like the fucking doll that they did in the first movie that got pulled into the window.
Oh god, that was supposed to be Nancy's mom.
Yeah.
You totally see. They, as an editor, that always bugs me. I'm like, you couldn't cut more of that.
Like a little bit, just a little bit more.
In this one, in Dream Warriors, you do see a dummy Freddy on top of the TV as she pulls Jennifer into the TV. But they actually cut at the right moment. In Freddy 1, the scene that you're talking about, you clearly see a doll for like a half a second, which is a very long half a second, and then she gets pulled into the door.
To be fair, the little girl that Christian's running around with in the very, very beginning of the movie.
Oh, that.
That very obvious doll.
Oh yeah.
Like that. There's you get that a little bit too.
She's running in there, but at least it's revealed that it's not a person she's carrying. It's just like it's a skull.
Yeah.
There's some kind of narrative justification.
There is some justification.
Her like
Is there?
haphazardly walking around with this thing just hanging there.
There is some justification.
Like just running around, it's like flopping around.
Right. Now, that takes care of story breakdown. Thanks. Wonderful job, guys, as always. Fuen, why don't you talk to us a little bit about production?
Ooh,
the production.
Good stuff here. The stolen glove. So, Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge, was a critical failure. And New Line Cinema was hesitant if they should even continue with the series. And yeah, listen to our episode on that one. It's very gay. It's a very gay movie.
Oh, very gay movie.
Yes.
Freddy's Revenge, pretty cool and fun, but also very gay.
Oh, yeah.
It's a little homoerotic. Just a little.
Wes Craven, who of course wrote and directed the first film, was not interested in seeing his Freddy Krueger movie turned into a franchise, actually. But after being dissatisfied with, of course, the second film, Wes Craven had seen enough and decided to jump on the creative team for Dream Warriors. Only this time around, Wes Craven would serve as a screenwriter and producer. So, hey, okay.
Yeah, he was just pretty much he was dissatisfied with Freddy's Revenge, the second movie, and he was just like, "Nah, dude, we're not. Let me jump back into this. We're not."
This is just like John Carpenter being like, "Stop fucking with my franchise."
Yeah.
Pretty much. And he had intentions to jump on board. Like his main purpose was to jump on board to find a way to end him. He didn't want to turn it into like a huge into 10 million Freddy movies.
Yeah.
So he's like, all right, I'm gonna do this, but we're gonna kill this fucker off. We're gonna move on with the rest of our lives. Sadly, it didn't really happen.
No, they've been more than double the amount of movies actually. So yeah, for the third installment, Wes Craven originally had the idea of having Freddy step into the real world and haunt the actors that were working on the next Freddy Krueger movie.
So we have essence of New Nightmare here.
Yes, yeah. And we go right here. The studio found this idea too bad at the time, but of course, as Webster said, we're gonna come back to it in a couple installments. So yeah,
it's gonna take us a while because we have to get through quite a few other Freddy movies, and none of them are very good.
They're not as good as this one, that's for sure.
Yeah, but New Nightmare, fuck, I can't wait to get to that.
Oh, dude,
That's
New
Nightmare
fucks.
New Nightmare fucks.
New Nightmare fucks.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So ideas were definitely being thrown around at New Line. There were even cases where both John Saxon and Robert Englund wrote their own scripts for the third Freddy film. Yeah. For Saxon's script, there was this angle where the third film would serve as a prequel, and he had titled it "How the Nightmare on Elm Street All Began." Long title, buddy. So for Robert Englund's treatment, he called it Freddy's Funhouse. There you go. Yeah, where we see the older sister of Tina Gray return home to the town of Springwood to investigate the murder of her sister from the first film.
That's kind of cool.
That's actually not a bad concept.
Yeah,
Okay.
the concept for both of them are pretty insane. I liked him. John Saxon's, just to elaborate a little bit more on, what was it called? How the Nightmare on Elm Street all began. It was definitely like an origin story for Freddy. It was kind of, he was just kind of, but he found a way to make him look innocent to a point where he was like wrongfully accused of being a child pedophile and stuff like that. And that's why he comes back to haunt everybody, because he was wrongfully killed and he was wrongfully lynched.
Interesting. Okay.
So that was like very, like John Saxon, like even though he gets a small role in this third film, he wanted to be a part of it. Like he wrote a fucking script for it. Robert Englund only wrote a treatment though.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
I see.
like Saxon wrote like an entire 90-page script.
Damn.
Yeah. But he got no editing credit.
That Englund's like 2 words, story breakdown. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think.
Yeah.
Wow. So, director Chuck Russell mentioned that ideas that didn't make it into the final script would later be utilized in future installments of the Freddy franchise. So, Filming went underway, and most of it was in good old sunny Los Angeles, where the Royce Hall building at UCLA served as the exteriors for the Weston Hills Psychiatric
I
Hospital.
fucking knew it.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, this looks like UCLA as shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As mentioned earlier, this whole film was filmed in LA, and like there's different parts. There's this church, locations just throughout all over LA for this one for sure.
Interesting. Oh, hey, and Freddy's Boiler Room was filmed in a warehouse across the street from the LA County Jail, which is actually next to where I live.
Yeah. Oh shit. Yeah. Wow.
That's could have happened
Dude,
in my apartment.
there's a lot of warehouses. There's a lot, dude. It really could actually.
I know. Yeah, there's a lot of warehouses there. It's all turned to hipster housing.
Yeah.
We've talked a lot about filming like a horror short in the hallway leading up to Anthony's apartment because it is spooky.
It's very spooky. Yes.
It's the best though.
We totally surf.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, read this fun fact right here.
Gotcha. All right. Fun fact: special effects artist Mark Schustrom was also doing work for Sam Raimi's Evil Dead 2. What? Oh,
Check it out.
he thought it would be a groovy idea to smuggle the Freddy glove used in Dream Warriors and place it as a background prop during the tool shed scene where Ash connects the chainsaw to his wrist.
I feel like we've brought this up.
I think we
I
did
feel
it
like
in
you
the
guys
second
have.
one. Yeah.
Like, I feel like we mentioned, although I don't think we knew, like, the connection. I think we were just like, is that a Freddy glove?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it definitely is. So yeah, fun fact. There was, if I can break down even more about this, I looked into this. I even saw a YouTube video on the stolen glove. So people were freaking out. They only made one fucking glove, and it was the special effects artist thought that there was multiple gloves.
Oh.
And they're just like, yo, where's the glove? And they're like, oh, I just fucking took it to the Evil Dead 2 set just for shits and giggles and just to laugh, and they're having a good time over there on that set. And like, fuck, I need to bring back that glove. They need it, like, fucking. So it was there for like a day or so, and he brought it back. But then like, he was like, why didn't we make more, dude? Why are we depending on just one glove?
Because what happened to the glove budget?
Yeah, I was gonna say their glove budget. Is
I'm sure they
lacking.
made more once they realized that one was missing. Like, yeah, we should probably make more of those just in case this doesn't happen again. Yeah.
2 gloves.
Yeah.
Two gloves.
So and then the filming locations for Evil Dead 2 and Nightmare 3 were so close. The sets were still also in LA, and they were just very close to one another. And this special effects artist was working on both, and he thought it would be funny to
Dude's
just
trying to
place
eat
it in the
good
tool
that
shed.
month. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm reading ahead, and there's a really funny typo.
Okay,
God.
we'll come to it. We'll come
I didn't
to
have
it.
time to check. God damn it! I can't wait. Oh god.
Oh, for the Jennifer death scene with the TV, the line, "Welcome to primetime, Butch." Butch? Butch?
That's the one.
That's
Welcome
my
to primetime, Butch.
Welcome to primetime, Butch. God damn it!
And
I
that's
didn't have time
referring
spell
to
check.
Bruce Willis's character Butch from Pulp Fiction, actually. Yeah.
What is it like to go into prime time?
I don't know, baby. I was born primetime.
You looking at something, friend? No, Butch. He's like, well, I think you know me just well, Punchy. Oh,
That's when he
God.
comes out with the samurai
Yeah.
sword. Welcome to primetime, Butch.
Fun fact, I don't just copy and paste shit from Wikipedia. I'll word it differently. I'll look at a sentence from Wikipedia and they're like, all right, let me just fillerize it, right? And
Fillerize it.
Right.
Let me just fill in the typos.
Jesus
But
Christ.
that line, as we said earlier, was not in the script. But of course, during post-production, Robert Englund ad-libbed that bitch. That butch. Filmmakers loved the line so much. Obviously, they kept it in, and it is part of Freddy's fucking repertoire now. It's great.
Mhm. Yeah.
And of course, composer Angelo, fucking gonna
Badalamenti.
All right.
Badalamenti.
Bertoli had just finished scoring David Lynch's Blue Velvet. Oh, great movie, and was brought on board for Dream Warriors. Wow,
Yeah.
he did
What
Blue
a-
Velvet too.
Wow.
Right after. So Badalamenti is a very close friend of Lynch. Like, he died, rest in peace, like a year ago.
Oh yeah, I remember when he
Yeah,
passed.
he
yeah.
died like a year ago, and R.I.P. And so right after, I read a little bit more on this. I just didn't put it in the script, but he literally finished Blue Velvet, and he got brought on board for Dream Warriors. Just like, yeah, let's do it. And the man got like no rest. And then right after that, he would work on with more Lynch, and then he did another movie, then Twin Peaks.
Shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
Did he do Mulholland Drive too?
I don't know if he did Mulholland. Chances are, yeah, he's done most of Lynch's films, but he would actually work on Lost Highway, which also has Patricia Arquette. Which, by the way, Webster, have you seen Lost Highway yet?
Put it on your birthday month, Phil. That's the only way it's gonna
Lost Highway.
happen.
I think I can actually see it in the living room. Fun fact: I think you've
right
had
there.
my Lost Highway longer than I have had my Lost Highway.
You know what? I had a moment where I was just like, oh, I have a free afternoon. I should watch Lost Highway. And
Yeah.
I didn't.
If anything, Patricia Arquette is in this, who is in Dream Warriors.
Yes.
And she is like smoking.
Really?
In Lost Highway.
All right,
Yeah.
duly noted. Angelo Badalamenti did do the music for Mulholland Drive.
Yep.
Hey,
Figured.
there we
Yeah,
go.
he's done like every Lynch piece of work. Really.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shall we continue?
Let's do it.
Yes.
Webster, why don't you talk a little bit how the people received Dream Warriors?
Hell yeah. So, opening to 1,300 theaters nationally, A Nightmare on Elm Street 3 Dream Warriors was released in February 1987, as previously mentioned. Dream Warriors debuted at number 1 with $8.9 million, which is a record for an independent film at the time. The film ended up making $44,793,222 at the domestic box office.
I haven't one of them reads in a while, baby. Let's go.
I threw it in there for that. For
Thank
that.
you,
I
thank
threw it in
you.
there for
It helps with my dyscalculia to read large numbers, marking it as the highest-grossing film for the studio that year. This is the third highest-grossing film in the Nightmare on Elm Street series, behind, of course, Freddy vs. Jason, and A Nightmare on Elm Street 4, The Dream Master. Dream Warriors has an approval rating of 68%, almost 69, that would have been really funny, on the tomato meter, with, again, a 68% audience score.
69%.
It would have been funny.
That would have been fun. 69%, bitch.
Nice.
That's where the dick demon actually is.
Yeah.
A little more dick demon with that.
A little bit, just a little bit more dick
Right.
demon. Our boy, Roger Ebert, gave Dream Warriors 1.5 out of 4 stars, saying that he liked the production values, but, quote, never generated any sympathy for its characters, unquote.
No. Hard disagree, Mr. Ebert.
Hard disagree, Ebert. Kim Newman from Empire criticizes Heather Langenkamp's acting, but says, quote, the film delivers amazing scenes in spades, bringing to life the sort of bizarre images which used to be found only on comic book covers, unquote. Yeah. So Heather Langenkamp went on to do special effects. Like
No shit.
Yeah, she does like special effects like now and like yeah, she's
That's awesome.
Very
yeah,
cool.
she does
Very
like
That's cool. Good for her. Because, I guess I can kind of agree on.
I mean, I can
on
drop
the criticism
she's
of
not
the
a great
acting.
actress, but it, you know, whatever.
Can't you see that there's Freddy Krueger running around?
I like that she has like the rogue streak.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah, she's definitely a rogue. Oh, they do another X-Men reference.
Yeah.
Wow.
She is.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is X-Men. Suicidal X-Men.
Suicidal.
God damn it.
Suicidal Avengers.
Oh my
All right.
gosh. Hers rogue, though.
Letterboxd reviews.
Hey, there we go. Box time.
Go. On the website, Dream Warriors stands at a 3.5 out of 5 based on 97,000 ratings.
Ooh, that's a lot for Letterboxd. All right.
Yeah.
Rudy with 3.5 stars says, quote, I'd just like to congratulate Jennifer on her big break into primetime TV. Unquote.
Oh, that was a good one. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I see where. Okay. The Awesome Meter with 3.5 stars says Dream Men, first class.
Hey.
X-Men reference number 75 in this episode.
Britt with 4 stars says, quote, average psych ward experience.
Yeah.
Unquote.
As someone who's been in worked at a psych ward, this is definitely the average psych ward experience.
Been to a psych ward.
Worked. Well, this is
Someone
my-
just kind of hung out outside the psych ward,
This
you
is
know?
a security guard era Phill. Yeah. I was Lawrence Fishburne. No, I was Larry Fishburne.
You were Larry.
I was Larry Fishburne.
Yes.
CC Freeman with 3 stars says, quote, really fun sets and concepts, but I really don't think it fully lives up to its ideas. The Dream Warriors all get powers that immediately fail them.
It's very true.
That's one thing I've always... it always bugged me.
It's a good grape to have
Yeah.
because I feel similarly.
Yeah.
And finally, Justin La Liberty with 4 stars says, quote, there's at least a dozen worthwhile reasons why this is the best Nightmare on Elm Street sequel, but none of them are as immediately compelling as John Saxon fighting a stop-motion skeleton in a junkyard.
Yes.
Unquote.
Very,
Yeah.
very compelling. scene.
Yeah, that was a great scene, by the way. And I remember rewatching this over the weekend, and I was just like, John Saxon is very committed in fighting nothing but air. You know,
He really is, yeah.
He was super involved. You know, and I was like, okay,
With his flask and...
good acting.
The power of Christ compels you.
Oh, that's funny.
All right, so now that we've gone through our very compelling letterbox reviews,
Very compelling.
Phil,
For sure. I swear I thought I had one more letterbox. Oh, but anyway, we're good. Yeah, that's all the letterbox reviews. I was like off by like one. All right, so let's talk a little bit about impact and influences that Dream Warriors led. This, of course, I didn't dive too much into it, but there was comic books, Freddy Krueger comic books, later on published in the early 2000s, and I think there's even some today, where some of the Dream Warriors make a comeback.
What?
Small little cameos in comic book form.
Okay.
Cool.
Like Taryn, Will, and I believe Philip. And there is even a series, a Nightmare on Elm Street series that came out where I believe it was also Philip who shows up briefly. So we don't see this film doesn't really show like the end of the Dream Warriors. We actually see some of these characters in just other media.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, Dream Warriors proved to be a commercial hit. Wes Craven's main reason to join this third installment was only to find a way to end the series, but because of the success of Dream Warriors, New Line Cinema said, "Nana!" and will eventually go on to make more Freddy movies, and New Line Cinema is now crowned as the house that Freddy built.
That's right.
I hate this.
Yeah.
I like Studio Greed is so frustrating to me, especially from like an artist perspective.
Yeah.
Like it's like he joined with the sole purpose of like closing it out on a bang, like in a good way, and because he like put in work and it succeeded. Studios immediately just being like, no, we're gonna milk this cash cow for everything it's worth.
New Line Cinema here, they were like the new guys on the block, you know.
Yes.
They were like the A24 at the time, you know.
They were absolutely
they were
A24 at the time.
And out of nowhere, like they made a shit ton of money with the first three Freddy Krueger movies, and they wouldn't see that much success until 1990 with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Whew.
Oh man.
Yeah. We do see a big commercial hit again for Nightmare 4, but after that, the big moneymaker would be TMNT. And a little film out there called Lord of the Rings.
What?
Yeah.
Never heard of it.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
With the little sidebar for Rush Hour 1 and 2.
Yeah, Rush Hour, yeah. And Mortal Kombat 95. I just had to throw in Mortal Kombat 95.
You know what? Freddy gave them a good amount of money so they can start making some good
Freddy
shit, actually.
did, like, you know, Freddy ran so that Liu Kang could walk.
Or he can do his little jump
Did it walk
kick.
to run? Did I switch him over?
I don't know. Freddy...
You switched it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Freddy walks so Liu Kang can run.
There you go.
So, Freddy walked so Liu Kang can bicycle kick. Yeah.
Beautiful.
That's what.
That's an alley-oop, man.
Yeah, see?
There you go. So, and of course, there are, as we mentioned, like, there is, like, I want to talk a little bit more about the influences. I didn't put it in the script here because this is where I had to run, but I was reading some really interesting stuff about the character of Taryn.
Really?
There was anti-drug campaigns going on in the 80s, and this movie kind of boosted like viewership and awareness of overall drug abuse, drug addiction, because of Taryn's character. If anything, like Freddy really was. This movie was kind of like pro like drug awareness, drug addiction awareness.
Thanks, Nancy Reagan.
Yeah, the 80s was a big time for drugs, I guess you should say, like with the rise of coke and crack and stuff like that in California and everything, right? So the Taryn character kind of like. I guess like campaigns like Dare kind of look at Taryn's like, hey, like, you know, look at this character.
That's what a victim looks like.
And yeah, this is what a victim looks like pretty much, yeah. So that was like another major influence that this movie had with, you know, with besides everything that I just mentioned with comic books and video games. There was actually a computer PC game that came out for Dream Warriors 3. Yeah, it's super... Like, I looked at a screenshot, I'm like, oh, that looks rough.
So it's like super like rudimentary.
Yeah, look it up now.
Look for Dream Warriors PC video game. I saw it on Wikipedia and I was like, oh man, that looks...
Oh, shit.
Yeah, if you can pull it up, that'd be... Yeah, that's the screen cap I caught right there.
Wow, okay.
And then, what else? There was some... And then, interesting thing about the poster, I mentioned how some scenes were, like, banned in other countries. The poster itself was from the same artist that did the first three. If you look at the poster for Dream Warriors shows these characters are, like, not in the film. Like, the artist was like, did he watch the movie? Because, like, you see these characters. Kincaid is, like, a white dude. What's her name? Nancy, has, like, she has the rogue streak, but she's, like, in this nightgown, and it looks like a completely different actress. Huh. And Taryn, instead of, in the film, she has black hair, she has white hair, and it's just a weird poster.
Huh.
Yeah.
Very, very weird poster. And they went with that, but I don't know. I think it's still a really cool piece of art, but just a weird poster.
It is.
I like the concept, but look at I'm assuming that's a Will right there with the medieval hammer thing.
It's a mace.
A mace? Maze?
Mace.
So like,
it's corn, Native American corn. It's maize.
Yeah, cool poster, but just like
very off.
Yeah,
though.
very off by the characters for sure. Like the Terran character, like yeah, that's supposed to be Kincaid on the left. Very interesting. Very, very interesting.
Fascinating.
All right, so that pretty much covers all the good and the wackiness of Freddy 3. Dream Warriors, as the kids would call it. So this brings us over to discussion time, fellas and ladies and non-binary folk and everybody watching and listening. Thoughts on Dream Warriors?
Very inclusive transition.
That was really
very inclusive. Hey,
Yeah,
you get a gold star.
Pulled that out of my ass.
He's like, one gender. Fuck, let me get another one. How about all of them? How about not even a little bit?
How about Cenobites? You too.
Cenobites,
Oh,
there
you
you
guys are all welcome. Come on in, dude.
And all the Dream Warriors out there. I'll kick it off.
Okay, go for it.
Okay, so this is actually, I haven't seen this movie since I was a kid, like a child. And I used to watch it a lot apparently because I remembered these scenes all as they were popping up. This was my favorite Freddy movie back when I was younger. It was like hands down my favorite, like compared to all the rest of them. And it is like good. Like this is a great Nightmare on Elm Street movie, actually. 2, we were talking a lot of shit on. I remember, despite like it having like a very like profound like production because like 80s and Reagan and all that shit. This one, I'm like, damn, this is the delicious junk food. It's so goddamn good. Like I don't know what it is, but the characters are fun. It's fast. It's actually pretty well paced for me. And it's nice seeing Nancy, even though she can't fucking act. She cannot act. But you know what? There's an appeal to that. I think it kind of works.
Be nice.
Leave her alone.
Leave her alone.
It's not her fault she can't act.
Kind of is, but that's okay.
But like seeing like her and her dad's like reunion scene, I'm like, there's tension here, or are they just like two pieces of cardboard just at each other? But no, like the special effects in this movie are fantastic.
This is where the movie shines.
This is like 80s prime special effects right here. So yeah, to me, like this is a great sequel. It's how you do it. Cheesy in all the right ways, and honestly, like probably my favorite Freddy film next to the first one. They're both comparable for me.
Nice,
so,
very cool. Webster.
I love this movie. I am gonna add. I just not fact checked myself, but Langenkamp is married to Oscar-winning makeup artist David Leroy Anderson, and they met at the wrap party for The Serpent and the Rainbow.
Oh shit!
Yeah. And they run a makeup special effects firm together. She was the special makeup effects coordinator for Dawn of the Dead from 2004.
Great effects.
Evan Almighty.
What?
And The Cabin in the Woods.
What?
Cabin in the Woods.
Yeah.
With Chris Hemsworth. Looks like we have a cabin in the woods.
God damn it.
Listen to our episode
That's
on
so
that
cool.
one too.
Yeah, totally.
Did not know that. I had no idea she went into special effects.
I know.
I mean, she married an Oscar-winning makeup artist.
Yeah, that's cool.
So.
Good for her. Good for her.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, I love this movie. I watched the first. I saw it at Camp Frida in 2019. Yeah.
In the before time.
In the before times, and it was super fun. I loved it. At that point, I had only seen the first Nightmare on Elm Street, so when I was just like, I'll just watch the third one and see how I feel about it, and it blew my fucking mind. Yeah. And I'm like a famous Nightmare on Elm Street hater. Like, I do not like the franchise.
This is
I'm
kind
like
of with you on that.
This is the exception to my rule.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah.
It's super fun. Like, revisiting it was really, really exciting for me. It's a fun movie. It's comforting. It's junk food.
It is.
It's
like
junk
you
food,
said.
absolutely, yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, doesn't get more straightforward than that.
Absolutely. Yeah, same here. I share the same sentiment with you on this film, because this film there's a whole lot of film going on in this movie. There's a lot. I'm talking from like the origins of Freddy to Nancy and her dad. Originally in the script, there was Nancy was going to come back. Wes Craven asked Heather Langenkamp if she was down before she starts writing her in, and she said, "Yeah, bring me in, coach." So at first, she wasn't even going to be a therapist. She was like an intern.
She was
Yeah.
like training
She was
to
like
be
in
a
training.
psychiatrist.
She was just gonna be
yeah.
there. She was just gonna like help, like the folks who needed the help in this and stuff like that. And they went with different directions, and finally they went with this script right here. And I appreciate everything about this film. Everything.
Yeah.
I'm glad they went with this direction. Very bold takes on a lot of things. I wish the Dream Warriors, well, most of them survived. But
Yeah.
Taryn, I would love to see Taryn live and then like blossom into like another movie. Like if she became like the new Nancy or something like that.
That'd be good. Oh, that'd be great.
Patricia Arquette was obviously supposed to be like the new Nancy.
Yeah, that would have been cool. And we don't see her in any other, right?
No, I just
We
looked,
see Nancy get a new nightmare. But that's it.
The mute kid makes an appearance in 4
Oh, okay.
from
All right.
what I saw online, but I don't think we see
Yeah.
Patricia Arquette's character again.
This past week, like all of October, I've been trying to watch a horror film every day, and I watched the first 3 Nightmare on Elm Street films this week. 2 it's still a fun movie. 2 is still a fun movie, but holy shit, man! I think 3 and 1 are neck and neck for like my favorite. I love 1 for what it is. Right?
Yes,
It's
right.
an introduction. It's a really cool concept, something we've never seen before, right?
Yeah.
But this is a solid ass sequel. I really love the shit out of Dream Warriors. Like this is probably my favorite sequel. It's up there with New Nightmare. I also share the same sentiment about this entire franchise, like as you Webster. I'm not, even though I have like a DVD collection that I got at a yard sale, but like I have all the films, and but it was a good price at the yard sale, so I was like, oh, I'll get it, sure. And then but this one's awesome. I really like it. Special effects, top notch, like everything from like there's this part where Freddy takes off his shirt and you see all the screaming souls and they're all moving.
Yes.
And shit.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, that's fucking awesome, dude. Like I was like, how the hell did they do that? And there's really, I think the special effects really shine in this one a lot. And yeah, I love it. I love it a lot. And it's very comforting. Can't wait to see it again.
It does feel like an X-Men 1 to X-Men 2.
Yeah.
Like in scale.
Oh,
like in terms of scale.
Another, I'm so sorry. I don't know why. I probably ran out of time. And in the script, this inspired New Mutants. The movie.
I assumed.
The movie.
Honestly, it felt like
it
that.
came out like what, a couple years ago, and
Yeah,
it got
but it was
delayed.
done for, like,
I was
5
gonna say,
years.
wasn't New Mutants like it was like coming out and then it was delayed and
It
it
was
was coming
delayed
out.
so many
it just
times.
kept getting delayed.
It had what's her name? Anya Taylor-Joy.
Anya Taylor-Joy, yeah.
And it got delayed, but the directors and the writing team behind that movie clearly stated that Dream Warriors was like their main influence for this.
Yeah, it was like Anya Taylor-Joy, like Maisie Williams.
Yeah.
A whole
Maisie
bunch of
Williams,
people,
yeah.
yeah. But it got. I remember it got delayed. It was in development hell for the longest time.
Yeah.
And it got raked over the coals with the
And
critics
it just
too.
like, and nobody really wanted to go see it.
Well, I was like super excited to go see it, and then it just kept getting postponed, and
Yeah.
it just they shot
Like,
themselves in
You're
the
losing,
foot.
yeah, you're losing me. You're losing my interest.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I like the movie a lot, and I kind of want to read the comic books where you see these characters again because
Yeah.
this is. I'm pretty sure like the horror community really embraces this one a lot heavily, and I'm pretty sure the people behind this franchise are aware of that. That's why you see some of these fan favorite characters come back in other forms.
Well,
You know.
I'm sorry. We briefly talked about it in the beginning, but this movie, like the first one, it established the franchise. The second
Yeah.
one tanked so bad that they weren't sure if they were going to make another one. But then the third one, from what I understand, obviously I wasn't alive back then, but it like is what catapulted A Nightmare on Elm Street into like mainstream popularity.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. 100%. It really was like our introduction to like the Freddy that they decided to go with for the rest
Yes.
of like its existence.
That's bitch
Like,
Freddy right
Yeah,
there.
I was gonna say
Yeah.
like
The first two,
bitch
like
thing.
the first one was like he was dark, sinister,
Yes.
scary, right? And but in the second one, he was more like
Homoerotic.
yeah, he was.
He's dumb.
A little fruity.
Yeah, I was gonna say broke back Elm Street. Yeah, that's the way.
Why can't I quit you, bitch?
That's the way
I wish I knew how to quit you, bitch.
That's the way I describe Freddy 2. Freddy 3, I think, is set the blueprint for what we see in the rest. We definitely
Yeah.
see this Freddy in like other films like New Nightmare, Freddy
vs.
vs. Jason.
Jason,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. So Yeah, so I like this movie a
I'm
lot.
obviously Team Jason.
Yeah, there
True.
you go. See. Okay, here's one right here. What does this movie do right or wrong compared to other Part 3s from famous horror icons? For example, Child's Play 3, Halloween 3, Friday the 13th Part 3, Scream 3, and Army of Darkness.
Yeah, some of the big dogs.
Very good question.
That's
by the way,
yeah, that's a good question. I think the thing that it does wrong is obviously there isn't, and they can't totally help this, like the filmmakers, but there's not a linear line between all three movies. Like it jumps around.
Yeah.
Like from 1 to 3, we have Nancy, right?
Right.
In the second one, there's no continuity from 2 to 3. Like it's just it's segmented to me, which you also get in Friday the 13th Part 3 and Halloween 3, of course. And so it in some cases it can help or hurt, but notoriously Halloween 3 is like shit on, which justice for Halloween 3.
Seriously.
And then Friday the 13th Part 3, if I remember correctly, was like mid.
Yeah, it's where he gets the hockey mask.
Yes.
But
I mean,
like that, but like the movie itself is.
okay, so again, same way. Friday the 13th Part 3 establishes Jason as horror iconography.
It's how we know Jason
Right.
now.
Yeah.
And then this movie is what establishes Freddy as horror iconography. So there's that similarity there. I also, Army of Darkness is my personal favorite
100%.
of the Evil Dead
You know, the
franchise.
funny thing, there's similarities with Army of Darkness and Halloween 3. This is where they kind of take like a big pivot in whether it be setting. Halloween 3 obviously was trying to go with the anthology route, no Myers whatsoever. They were trying something completely different. Where Army of Darkness, we see these characters, but they're just, you know, there's obviously a big, huge pivot in story,
And, like, tone.
setting, and tone, and
yeah,
stuff.
tone completely different.
Yeah, whereas like Nightmare, or Dream Warriors, and Friday the 13th Part 3, they were just kind of finding their footing. They were kind of just fighting like, okay, this is the vibe we're gonna go with this character.
This is the template from now on.
I
this is
totally
the template,
agree,
The
yeah.
new blueprint. The new blueprint.
New
Yeah.
blueprint, yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah. No, yeah, I would say, like, it definitely is just overall one of the more polished Part 3s. Like, sometimes with some of these movies, like, you can tell the sequel right before that was way better, and they were like, we just need to make a 3.
Right.
Like, you look at Scream 2 versus Scream 3. Scream 2, to me, is like a stronger, faster film.
Yeah.
Child's Play 2 versus Child's Play 3, big difference in quality right there.
Yeah.
But,
I kind of like Child's Play 3.
Oh, I like them both.
Okay, I was like, I don't know if that's
But I
like
would
a
say 2 is
controversial
like...
take.
2
I
is
recently
like
watched
good,
2.
good.
2 is one of my October specials, and
Yeah.
I watched it like 2 weeks ago. It fucks, dude.
No, 2's great.
Yeah.
2's like Empire Strikes Back level
2
good.
is
Okay,
pretty dope.
that's
Yeah.
a little...
Well, compared to Chucky.
There's a little Cronenberg action at the end where
Yeah.
it gets morphed.
Oh,
I
yeah.
like 2.
Right.
3, I haven't seen 3 in years, so I'm
It's
I might
the
say
military
it's
camp
the
one. It's
Yeah.
so fucking fun.
Yeah,
It's fun,
I used to
but
watch
yeah.
that one a lot as a kid.
Same.
The
It was-
military one.
I always thought it was cool seeing older Andy.
Yeah.
Like, I was like,
Teenage
damn.
Andy, yeah.
But yeah, this is one of the ones where I feel like it's rare to see the 3 be one of the strongest, if not the strongest entries.
Yeah.
Like, that's, you know, where fans can kind of latch onto something. It's up there with Army of Darkness in terms of that, and a Halloween 3 being, it's like, you know, people have their favorites. But yeah, and then what it does wrong, I guess, not really a lot in my book, to be honest. This is really good.
This is a really good entry.
Just some of the acting,
Yeah.
I guess, and like, but you can't help some of that stuff either. You know, it is what it is. But no, it does a lot right for me. I think for Part 3, this is kind of how you do one.
Yeah, it aged really well.
Yeah, I agree.
Absolutely. All right, so beautiful answers as always. Love it. Now, got one right here for you, courtesy of the Fuencerino. When it comes to Final Girls, how does Nancy Thompson compare?
I mean, I think we can all agree that Sydney is like number one final girl.
Yeah, Sydney Laurie has the...
Sydney and Laurie, yeah.
Yeah. Nancy, it's always fun to see a returning final girl like Laurie Strode, like Sydney Campbell. It's really cool to see.
Sydney
Prescott.
Prescott.
Sydney-
You just combined
Like Nev Prescott.
Wow.
Nev Prescott.
Nev Prescott.
Yeah, that's what, I just had one of those moments where I was like, I saw your guys' faces here, and I'm like, what? And then I caught it as soon as you guys said
You
it.
don't remember the iconic final girl, Laurie Lee Curtis?
Laura Curtis. Jamie Strode.
Jamie
Jamie Strode.
Oh,
God.
Oh God,
Dude.
there's tears in my eyes. Oh wow, that's fucking funny.
When it comes to Final Girls, there's one Final Girl that I would love to make a return, but sadly he never did. Arnold Schwarzenegger to the Predator franchise.
It's true.
Never came back for another one, even though he survived the first one, but he just...
Arnold Schwarzenegger, Disney princess, Final Girl.
Absolutely. Beautiful. So, I don't know. Nancy's cool. I like Nancy, but yeah, I mean
she's one of, I would say, like, in terms of iconography, I would say she's up there, but I don't...
She's got a look.
She's got
a
like,
look.
people kind of know, but
Yeah.
it's not the same, like obviously Sidney Prescott and Laurie Strode are, like, the final girls, but I think she's a solid bronze medalist.
Yeah, no, I would say that's her tier also. It's not like, when Laurie or Sydney come back to an installment, it's like,
Right.
oh, shit.
Yeah.
This is going to be good. But if Nancy came back to a later one, it's kind of like, oh, cool, Nancy's in this.
To be fair, Jamie Lee Curtis did return to a not great franchise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
It hurts a little bit.
Thank you for reminding me of our last episode.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
Although this will come out after Halloween,
Yes,
so
yes.
But only the
Happy-
day after.
Happy November.
Happy November. When it comes to Final Girl, I mean, Nancy's cool though. I like.
Yeah.
In this role, she was more like a mentor. She's a survivor.
I
and stuff like
liked that.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
like seeing
Yeah.
a mentor Final Girl, like helping like a new generation
Yeah.
of survivors and stuff. Especially with like a sensitive subject like this, where like sensitive environment like a psychiatric hospital with suicidal teenagers. You
Yeah.
know, like it's really cool to see that. And in the first film, obviously, we're following her a lot more as she's going through like a manic stage of like no one's believing her that she's seeing this shit and stuff like that. In this one, she's more a little, she's aged up, a little seasoned, a little wiser.
Yeah, and then we get a new nightmare, too.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, which
Can't
is
wait
like a
for
whole
that.
meta different take.
Can't
So,
wait.
yeah.
Super meta, dude. I can't wait for that.
She is one of the more effectively used Final Girls
I like how
compared to a
Cra-
lot of other ones.
Yes.
I like
I
how
agree.
Wes Craven was pitching New Nightmare for this one. They're like,
Yeah.
nah, dude, let's just do another one. And you'll
They're-
get your chance.
You'll never
get
make
your
another
chance.
horror movie in this town
Yeah.
again.
I like that they're right. They're just like, it's too meta, and now like almost like a lot of movies now are taking like that meta approach. It's become a lot more popular.
Absolutely.
He's like, you guys aren't ready for that one yet, but your
But you're-
successors are going to love it.
But your kids are gonna love it.
That's so good. All right, cool.
Your assistants turned executives are going to love it.
All right. Here's the one right here. Of the movies we've seen so far, how would you rank them?
This is hard.
Yeah. No, it's not hard for me. 3, 1, 2. I'm actually putting 3. I'm actually putting 3 above 1.
3, 1, 2.
Yeah, 3's number 1 for me, actually. Because it was just a nice... Like, when I saw it again, I'm like, damn. I used to watch it so much.
Yeah.
1's brilliant, though. It's not like a big gap. To me, they're, like, right there and there. But, like, yeah, I would actually give 3 the edge. Like, just a hair. And then 2's... exists. 2 exists. That's
2 is
pretty good.
fun. 2
Yeah.
is fun. I recently watched 2 again, and 2's cool. 2's cool.
Yeah.
2's
You know,
cool.
and Mark Patton,
Yeah.
way to go, buddy.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Friend of the podcast, right?
Yeah.
You did share us. You shared our episode and
Yeah.
everything,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Which
So,
was very,
it was very cool.
it was very cool.
Very
Yeah.
cool, Mark Patton.
Yeah.
But still third.
So going 3, 3, 2. What was 3, 1, 2?
3, 1, 2.
How about you, Webster?
3, 2, 1.
3,
Oh.
2, 1.
Oh, okay.
I love Dream Warriors. It's by far, so far, my favorite. And to be completely transparent, I have not seen a ton of, like, I've never seen Freddy vs. Jason. I don't think I've seen 4. I've of course seen New Nightmare, so I feel like I don't have like a full scope here, but we'll get to that when we
Once
get to
we
it.
cover New Nightmare.
Once we get there.
Yeah, absolutely.
2, it's just gay camp for me. Like, there's just something about it where like it barely even registers as a Freddy movie to me,
Yeah.
but it's still super fun.
I'm glad it exists.
Yeah.
And in the time that it came out, too, in the freaking 80s, like, like, it's ballsy to make a movie like that.
yeah.
Yeah.
As the sequel to a mega hit like that, they
Go a
went
very
that
different
direction.
direction.
Like, I thought that was, I
Yeah.
can't hate on that.
Go listen to our Nightmare on Elm Street 2 for that, because
So-
we talk a lot about the political context in
Yeah.
which the movie was made.
It's weirdly one of our most like sad and like introspective episodes about that movie, which is weird. It's a weird catalyst for that, but yeah.
I am also going to be going 3, 1, 2.
Okay.
Yeah, I love 1. I love it a lot. It's, But 3, man, this is one of my favorite like Freddy Krueger movies for
Yeah,
sure.
I would agree.
1 is beautiful, 2 is fucking awesome, but yeah, 3 is.
Someone's got to come in third, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, honestly, yeah, 3. But 3 fucks, and I just love everything about it. To me, that's prime time.
I was gonna say,
Prime time
bitch.
Freddy, yeah. Prime time Freddy, bitch. But yeah. All right, here's one right here. If you had a special dream power, what would it be?
to have bigger arms than Phill.
Oh, hold on, dude. You have bigger arms. Savannah puts a thumbs up. I saw it. You Reservoir Dogs. You shoot me in a dream, better wake up and apologize.
Oh yeah.
You outlift me in a dream, better wake up and apologize.
No, yeah, my super dream power actually be able to summon more film equipment than Phill too. So, yeah, I'd be like, oh shit, wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Is that a red? Oh yeah, but only in your dreams, Phill.
I would like to morph into anybody, kind of like how Freddy's able to morph into anybody.
Okay.
Okay.
I would like to morph into if I could just morph into Owen Wilson right now. I'd be like, hey, what's up, guys? Hey, so Dream Warrior. No,
He discovered last week he could do an Owen Wilson impression, and
something
now,
something about prime time, bitch. I just don't understand. Like, why?
God damn it!
Or Christopher Walken is like, yes, welcome to prime time, bitch. Come on.
Okay, that's a great. Oh, Christopher Walken, Freddy, be fantastic.
Ah, it's haunting.
Robert De Niro was like, oh, welcome to prime time, bitch.
They could be doing that in maybe like Casino or something.
Yeah.
I can see that happening.
Look what they did in my hand, man.
It turns to a Freddy glove.
That's what I was. Yeah.
Look what they did to my hand, bitch. Oh, we could have
man,
Freddy haunting
that's
all
good
kinds
stuff.
of our favorite movies. That'd be
That's good
fantastic.
stuff. I love it.
Oh,
love
that's
it.
a good one. Okay.
But yeah, all right. Well, I just got one more final question for you guys. Unless you guys want to keep, if you guys got any more
Yeah, I'm
to
good.
dive in on this.
Oh, no, our
No?
powers are talking shit on you, so we're
Yeah.
All right. So rate Nightmare on Elm Street 3, the Dream Warriors or Dream Warriors, out of 5 stolen Freddy gloves. Out of 5.
Out of 5,
How would you rate this movie out of 5 stolen gloves?
I'll go for it. It's
go.
one of my favorite junk food movies like ever. It's actually gonna get a 4.5 from me.
Oh,
It's
goddamn!
actually
Wow.
a really
All
good
right,
movie. Yeah.
damn.
Because I
all
kept trying
right.
to think of flaws, and I'm like, well, there's some dated aspects to it, but honestly, like
Yeah.
acting, all that, but it seems so
Yeah.
small. And again, it's not like a deep movie, but it is just goddamn good. And
Right.
enjoy the watch. Honestly, it's a comfort movie.
Very cool.
I'm gonna say 3.5. Welcome to primetime, bitch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm also gonna be going 3.5. Welcome to primetime, Butch. Yes.
Good,
I'll be
good,
doing that. That's mine right there.
good, good.
Yeah. I mean, dude, this movie is super fucking awesome. If I'm gonna put my film critic hat on, yeah, there's things that you can, sure, whatever, plot this, plot hole that, whatever, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, this is not one of those kind of movies where you have to put on the hat.
No.
on. This is a fucking movie you can just sit down and have a fucking blast. And I try doing that with the rest of this franchise, like Dream Master, The Dream Child, and like
Final Nightmare.
Freddy's.
I don't even know all
Yeah,
these
dude,
movies.
there's more.
There's a whole other
and
set of
dude,
them.
like, there's a reason why those. I can tell you right now. Spoiler alert for those episodes. They're gonna get lower scores.
Yeah.
Because like the rest of this franchise, for some reason, just doesn't present what Dream Warriors did.
They're just more
No.
forgettable.
They're super forgettable,
more
and they're just
forgettable.
like, this is bland. You guys had it on
Yeah.
autopilot. At least with this one, they tried something drastically fresh, something really. They pumped some new blood into Freddy Krueger.
Yeah.
And whether it feels the fact that they brought back Wes Craven to be a writer in this,
I mean,
I'm
they
not
got
sure.
Darabont too.
Darabont.
This feels a little Frank Darabont
Yeah,
times
dude. And
also.
then New Line, the studio was still like in their sophomore year, I think. There were still like the new kids on the block.
Did you
So-
know Michael Bay produced the most recent reboot of Nightmare on Elm Street?
Oh,
Yeah, the Platinum Dunes one?
The Platinum Dunes
Yeah.
one? The one with Jackie Earl Haley?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
One from
that's
2010?
Michael Bay's company, Platinum Dunes.
Platinum Dunes,
Oh,
yeah.
that's-
Michael Bay, fun fact, he is a horror buff. but he makes action films. Like
Interesting.
he is a horror fanatic.
That's
and
interesting.
in the Q&A that I've been to, somebody asked him, "Will you ever make a horror film?" And he's like, "Well, you guys know I love my horror films, dude. Like my company produces a lot of these remakes. They did the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake. That's Platinum Dunes, and like." He's just like, I would love to, but I don't know, man. I'm scared. Like he says, I'm scared of making one because I just don't know. It would definitely be something new for him.
Definitely out of his wheelhouse, yeah.
Yeah, but
He'd do it.
But he's been happily producing horror like films for 20 years now. Like,
Totally.
Yeah, like remakes at
Yeah.
least.
Also, I wanted to mention the Film Theory hat is just the hat that Flen was wearing yesterday when we were bar hopping.
Oh, yeah.
The fedora?
The fedora. That's your Film Theory hat.
But yeah.
When I was just British, just my Halloween costume. Just British. Nothing
Mine
else.
is Macho Man hat.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I dig it.
Oh, well, I think that takes care of
That's
it.
it.
Yeah,
we did
cool.
it. We fucking did it.
Awesome.
We did it, guys.
Yay,
All right.
good job, go team. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. This was Nightmare on Elm Street 3 Dream Warriors from 1987. Next week, we are continuing our, trilogy, not trilogy.
Did we even say the theme up top?
We did. Not up top. We said it yesterday, last week.
Last week.
We're just as a recap, we're covering threequels all month, and we're very excited. Next week's threequel is a movie.
You remember? Oh, it is.
It's definitely a movie.
It's definitely It's in your favorite genre.
Ah.
Yes.
Look at her remember on camera. Look at her remember on
She was
camera.
like, it's a movie.
She's like,
oh yeah.
Phil can cut this later on.
No, I completely forgot. My brain is fried. I'm sad October's over, but I'm also kind of glad because I've been very burnt out this month. Next week we are covering one of my personal favorites. It's from a found footage franchise that I adore. So join us next week for that. In the meantime, if you want to stay up to date on the latest and greatest of all of our podcasting shenanigans, you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We are on Facebook and Twitter at Horror People Pod, and we are on Instagram at Horrible People's Podcast. That is HORRORBLE People's Podcast. You can find Anthony on Twitter and Instagram, mostly Instagram, at Hyrulean Hustler.
That's me.
And you can find me on Twitter and Instagram, mostly Instagram, at Ghost Coffee Shop. You can also find Phill on Instagram and YouTube at Phill Acevedo. And you can also follow our network. We have a brand new show launching very, very soon on the Horrible People's Network. So you can follow all of that on our Instagram at Horrible People's Network, HORRORBLE People's Network. In the meantime, everyone have a wonderful, safe November, and welcome to primetime, bitch.
Happy Thanksgiving, bitch.
Bye.